this segment, you are going to discover the triggers that make you overeat and learn effective ways to prevent them. We will also present to you the hunger scale, which will help you evaluate your relationship with food and help you control cravings for unhealthy food choices. First, let's see, what are eating triggers? An eating trigger is anything that causes you to lose control of your eating. It doesn't take much in today's world for you to give up and give in to your triggers. They're everywhere. We're surrounded by many triggers and there are many different types. These are just some of the most common major triggers that cause you to overeat. Biological triggers. These are hunger, thirst, and cravings brought on by your hormones. Environmental triggers. These are seeing or smelling food and seeing television commercials. Emotional triggers. These are stress, anxiety, sadness, loneliness, boredom, happiness, and excitement. Social triggers. These are being offered food or being around other people eating food in social situations. Mental triggers. These are thinking about food, imagining food, and the good or bad memories of certain foods. Trigger foods. These are a specific food or a type of food that you can never resist, like chocolate, breads, ice cream, salty snacks, candy, and more. Trigger situations. These are situations that you always associate with food, like movies, sports events, or any party, holiday, or celebration. Trigger times. These are certain times of the day or week that are difficult. They are usually from the late afternoon into the evening. Behavioral triggers. These are skipping meals, emptying the plate, or grazing. The problem with triggers is that they can cause a pattern of eating that can turn into an unhealthy diet habit. Maybe you started mindlessly snacking or binge eating once a week while watching your favorite show or movie, but now you snack or binge each time you watch television. This and many other triggers can be managed by establishing new, healthier habits. Emotions are important and one of the most difficult triggers to tackle. Many people feel stressed from work, personal relationships, or finances on a daily basis. They often find comfort in food. There is no coincidence that certain foods are labeled comfort foods. For some people, these foods are a way to fill the emptiness. You might be depressed or lonely, or you might feel that something is missing from your life. And there it is, the bowl of ice cream that always seems to cheer you up. It is always sitting there in the freezer waiting for you. It is the friend that will never leave you. Unfortunately, shortly after the bowl is empty, you feel the same emptiness again. Why? Because food wasn't the missing piece to begin with. It was a distraction from the real root of the problem. Is stress your trigger? Think about your stress level. How often do you feel stressed or overwhelmed? How much stress do you feel? Does that stress cause you to eat more? Does your stress level get you in trouble with healthy eating and regular exercise? Thinking about these questions will help you figure out if stress is your trigger and how to handle it. Maybe it was a tough day at work, or maybe the kids are driving you crazy and the bills just keep piling up. You feel as if you're drowning in your own reality. You feel like you have two options, a glass of wine or the candy bars from the top shelf. For a few hours, it calms you down, and shortly after, you're faced with the same reality, the same stress, with the added guilt from eating the whole bag of candies. Why? Because you were only momentarily masking the problem. So what can you do? There are better ways to deal with stress than eating more food or eating unhealthy food. Exercise is actually the best remedy for stress. Your brain makes more endorphins when you work out. Those are hormones that reduce stress when you're exercising on a regular basis. Meditation and yoga are also useful. You can also do guided meditations or listen to peaceful music and bedtime stories to relax and unwind. Boredom and loneliness are very common triggers that might get you off track. How many times have you seen a post on Facebook about someone being bored? You have nothing to do and you want to kill time, so you start eating, drinking alcohol, and some even resort to drugs. There you are at home or in front of the television and feeling lonely. So off you go to the kitchen and look for food to give you something to do even though you're not hungry at all. If this sounds like you or something that you do, you need to have a plan in place for how you're going to deal with boredom and loneliness. Instead of scouring through the kitchen, call a walking or a biking partner and go out for a walk or a ride. If you have a pet, they can be a great companion to keep you entertained. Anything that gets you out and moving outside of the house is a great option for when boredom sets in. Other solutions are listening to upbeat music, starting a new to-do list, and actually doing something from that list like cleaning out the junk drawer or even rearranging your furniture. The point is to replace the activity of eating food when you're not hungry with another activity. If boredom is a trigger for you, make a plan for activities that will stop the boredom and stop you from going off your weight loss plan. Another common trigger is feeling tired and eating to stay alert and awake. Do you eat when you're not hungry just to keep yourself awake and alert? If you often eat to stay energized, you need to have a plan in place to minimize the damage of this trigger. So what can you do? First, identify your low energy times of the day and pay attention to your energy levels through the day. Make sure you get adequate sleep every night. The lack of sleep causes a hormone imbalance in your body that actually makes you feel more hungry than usual. When you have a pattern of poor sleep, your body makes more of a hormone called ghrelin, the hormone that increases your appetite. So instead of heading to the vending machine when you have an afternoon energy crash, a quick 10-minute stroll around your office building or workplace is a great way to spike your energy and alertness. Now let's look at your social triggers. The weekend is coming, which means hanging out with friends and family. It's fun and exciting, and usually these get-togethers involve food or caloric beverages. Perhaps there are celebrations and special occasions. Whether it's a holiday or a birthday party, a wedding or a graduation party, you can easily count on at least a few celebrations every month of the year. These celebrations are not going to stop coming. If this is a trigger for you, you need to have a plan in place for how you will handle them while you're trying to lose weight. Celebrations and holidays are a challenge for many dieters. There is usually lots of unhealthy food right there in front of you. You can see it, you can smell it, and it can be very difficult to resist. Here are some helpful suggestions for these occasions. Eat your regular meals on the day of the celebration. Trying to save up all of your calories for the celebration is definitely going to backfire. You will find out that you're way too hungry to resist any of those goodies. Eat a high fiber and protein snack before you go to the celebration so that you're not very hungry when you get there. You can always increase your exercise time or intensity on the day of the celebration to make up for the calorie deficit and have a plan in mind for what you're going to eat at the celebration. Get the menu from the host in advance if you can. Ask the host if you can bring a vegetable tray or your own healthy snack. That way, if you're surrounded by junk food, you will know that there is something low-calorie to munch on. Once you arrive at the celebration, you can try some of these strategies. When you come into the room, survey the table. Make conscious decisions about what food to take, how much to take, then take the amount of food and don't go back for seconds. One plate, one pass. You should allow yourself to eat your favorite foods. Just make sure the portions are small. Try to focus on socializing and conversations with people rather than eating the food while you're at the celebration. Don't stand or sit near the food table. Force yourself to move to another room or area of the house. You want to be sure to be careful with beverages. Alcoholic beverages are very caloric. Water is the best no-calorie choice. Sadness and anger. When you're feeling down, a sweet treat can temporarily lift your spirits. This is normal and expected, but if the only way you can comfort yourself is with sweets, then this triggers a problem for you and you need a plan. Hitting the pause button, delaying your urge to turn to sweets when you're sad can be a useful strategy. Give yourself a 10-minute delay before you give in, and this can actually allow the urge to pass. You can also try a cup of hot herbal tea or lighting a scented candle when you're feeling the blues. Calling a friend is also a good option. Playing with pets has also been proven to be therapeutic and help with the blues. Sadness and anger are normal human emotions, but if the feelings persist and linger for long periods of time, you might need to seek professional advice. Another common problem are trigger foods like the ones we mentioned: ice cream, chocolate, candies, sweets, etc. Here we will learn a 3-step plan to deal with these triggers. Step 1. Limit the frequency. You don't have to completely eliminate these foods from your life, but you do want to schedule your splurges and space them out so you don't eat them very often. For example, you can schedule a splurge with lunch on Sunday and another small splurge with dinner on Wednesday. Step 2. Limit the availability. A simple tip here is to keep all of these trigger foods outside of your house. You will be less likely to get ice cream if you had to drive to the store to get it and if it wasn't readily available in your fridge. Make it a bit more challenging for yourself to get these foods. Simply don't keep them at your home or at your office desk. Step 3. Limit the quantity. If you tend to open a bag of chips and finish the whole thing while watching television, a good tip would be to portion out your snacks, and once it's gone, you're done. Use small storage bags and Tupperware to divide your snacks, or just purchase small pre-portioned snacks. Here is a simple breathing exercise to help you when you're having trouble with triggers. Do the following breathing pattern the next time you feel anxious, stressed, overwhelmed, sad, angry, or lonely. Lay down on the floor, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths for 5 minutes. This is how it works. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 4 seconds, exhale at 4 seconds, and hold at the bottom of your breath for 4 seconds. Take 5 minutes to practice this method. Try to do it daily or multiple times a day to get all the benefits. Here is the most important rule when dealing with triggers. An overall strategy for dealing with all of these triggers is to set this rule in your mind. Eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full. This sounds really simple and it really works when you're trying to lose weight, but many people have no idea when they're hungry and when they're full. They just eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack whenever, or maybe even in the middle of the night. You can be more successful with your weight loss if you learn your hunger cues and understand the hunger scale. It is also very important to stay hydrated. It is easy to confuse thirst and hunger. The tip here is when you are hungry, drink a glass of water, wait about 10 to 15 minutes. If you're still hungry, you should eat. Here is the hunger scale to help you identify whether you're truly hungry. Level 1. Starving, weak, dizzy. Level 2. Very hungry, lots of stomach growling. Level 3. Pretty hungry, some stomach growling. Level 4. Just starting to feel hungry. Level 5. Neutral, neither hungry nor full. Level 6. Just starting to feel full. Level 7. Slightly uncomfortable. Level 8. Definitely uncomfortable, feeling very full. Level 9. Very uncomfortable, very full. Level 10. So full you feel sick. As you can see, there are different levels of hunger. On a scale of 1 to 10, level 1 is totally starved, weak, dizzy, while level 10 is totally stuffed to the point of feeling sick. You never want to be at these levels or really anywhere near them. When you're in level 1 or 2, you will feel like you have very little self-control, which will cause you not only to overeat, but eat anything in sight. You want to keep yourself between levels 4 and 6 as much as possible. That is just starting to feel hungry, neutral, not hungry and not full, and just starting to feel full. You should try to stay away from levels 9 and 10. This is the feeling of too full, too stuffed. Picture a Thanksgiving dinner type of fullness. This is definitely a red flag. It might be difficult to determine the level of fullness initially and put it on a scale. This will require practice. Every time you eat, ask yourself what your hunger level is before and after you eat. Over time, it will become easier to detect your hunger level and stop when you're full. Stay disciplined, remember your goal, and listen to your body. Mahalo and aloha.